Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. We had a bit of a break yesterday and recuperated, and we're back to preview the matches tomorrow. Where there's India versus New Zealand is the series decider, the final T20 in Ahmedabad, and we have the third game between South Africa and England. Although that series is over, South Africa won 2-0. It's important in terms of their World Cup qualification, so we'll discuss that. I'm sure South Africa will play a full strength team and look to win this game. Rawada will probably come back if he is fully fit. From India's point of view, there is some selection headaches because they have lost one T20 already. Also, it depends on the pitch. If it's a more seamer friendly pitch, then Umran Malik will probably come in. I think in the place of Juswinder Chahal. And even though Chahal bowled beautifully in the last T20, I think it'll be horses for courses kind of method from India. और एक चीज ये है कि the top of the order, do you bring in Prithvi Shaw, and if you do, who do you bring him in for? If you bring him in for Ishan Kishan, then who wicket keeps? Then do you bring in Jitesh Sharma as well? Then that means two changes. अगर वो नहीं है, then you swap Shaw for Tripathi and make Shubman Gill bat one down. These are some options that they will explore. Like only time will tell what will happen. India generally have done really well in bilateral series, particularly at home, but even away from home. There will be some pressure on Hardik Pandya, and because this New Zealand team is tough to beat. Even they almost defended 100 runs we saw in the last T20. Santner is captaining really well. The bowlers coming through with him. The likes of Tickner is gaining experience and really being competitive in these conditions. With the bat, Conway, he's been really good. I think he's been one of the finds of the tour, and we know the potential that Conway has taken in this situation in subcontinent pitches. I think he's done really well. So, kudos to him. He's going to be a player to watch out for. Glenn Phillips has yet to perform. So, from New Zealand's point of view, ये एक चीज है कि भाई अगर Glenn Phillips ने मार दी 70-60 run 20-30 ball में, then it takes New Zealand to a different type of total. It makes them a match-winning total, perhaps. And that's something that New Zealand will look towards too, particularly like if someone like Glenn Phillips can be explosive. He hasn't performed yet. The last time we saw him play a blind-up innings was against Pakistan. So we're waiting for him now in Indian conditions. He could be a potential match winner. But overall, New Zealand have done well in the T20s. They've learned from the one days, and also they're putting this inexperienced Indian attack under pressure, whether it's with the ball or with the bat. We saw in the death overs Arshdeep getting hit for 27 in that first T20. And although India bowled much better in the second T20, New Zealand also bowled really well in the death and put the Indian batters under pressure throughout that innings in a low scoring chase. And if it wasn't for that, Surya Kumar Hardik partnership and that four that Surya hit, things could have been a bit different. There's a few runouts missed as well from New Zealand. So if they took their chances, India would have been could have lost that game as well, and the series would have been done. So New Zealand have done really well. They have put India under pressure. From India's thing, I don't know what you guys think, but let me know. Would you play Prithvi Shaw in this game? Would you take that chance? I was seeing Ishan Kishan, his average, honestly, both in IPL and in internationals has been 27, 28. It's not been that great. Strike rate also 127, 130 around that mark. Although he's got a superb 200 against Bangladesh in the one days, he hasn't done. He hasn't shown that consistency in terms of runs and ball striking as well. So that's a question to be asked. And the thing is, his like for like is Jitesh Sharma, not Prithvi Shaw. So if you have to bring in Prithvi Shaw, you'll have to bring him in for somebody else, whether that's a Shubman Gill or Rahul Tripathi. You'll have to do that and then try to fit Shaw in the opening slot. Ishan Kishan can also drop down to the middle order, but we saw that in the one days when they did that, he didn't perform to that level. So of slight tinkerings India will need to do. What they do, only we'll find out at the toss. But it's going to be a good topic for discussion, definitely. From New Zealand, I think it'll be much of the same. They won't do too many changes. They've been doing well. Ish Sodhi's fitness, maybe that's something they'll monitor. But apart from that, I think um, they have their 11 sorted. New Zealand, whether it's the batting, bowling, they're looking the better team right now in the series, and that's why I don't think they'll tinker too much. India still can tinker, and also the pitch. Assessing the pitch will be very, very crucial. I think Hardik Pandya did a really, really good job in that for a second T20 where he knew that it was a turning track. Yes, he complained about the pitch after, but he knew it was a turning track. He got Chahal in, and Chahal bowled really, really well. Yeah, he didn't finish his quota, but some of the deliveries that he bowled, outstanding, man. His first delivery itself, incredibly, he beat the batsman all ends up. So I think that's one thing Hardik Pandya has done well so far, that he's read the pitches and played his 11 accordingly, according to the pitches. And again, more of the same in Ahmedabad. If there's something in it for the fast bowlers, I think after seeing that game in Lucknow, the Ahmedabad curators will definitely make sure it doesn't turn that much. They'll hopefully, I think, I mean, from their perspective, I think they'll make it a better pitch to bat on and maybe leave some grass on it. But I don't think it'll turn. Although there is potential, we've seen in Test matches, Ahmedabad में थोड़ा सा, थोड़ा नहीं बहुत turn हो सकता ball. But I think the way the series has panned out so far, and the captain's words, Ahmedabad, the curators will be a bit careful on how they prepare the pitch, and I think we might see a high scoring encounter between India and New Zealand. What do India need to improve on? I think their opening pair has to improve. If Ishan Kishan and Shubman Gill are opening, then they have to get them off to a fly. But at the same time, a solid start. Like 50 for no loss in the power play, that'll be something good. We haven't seen that yet. If maybe they should plan it a bit better. Where one takes the attack, the other one holds one end up and anchors the innings. That's maybe an idea that they can implement, because so many times early wickets आगे फिर middle order पे बहुत pressure आता and it becomes very difficult. Ujjal G is in the house. I think your new viewer. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like and subscribe, and you can send in your comments and questions regarding the game. And I have with me my special guest, Nawab Saab in the house. What's up, bro?
गुड भाई. सॉरी, थोड़ा
नहीं नहीं
पेट
कोई बात नहीं,
पेट
आप
अपसेट हो गया था. तो या मसले हो गए थे. बट एनीवे, या आई मीन कल का मैच बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट इट? व्हाट आर द सीन्स टुमारो?
Yeah, I was just saying that India have done really well in bilaterals. Like even in deciders, they've done pretty well compared to knockouts in ICC. They've done outstandingly well in bilaterals, and I think
बिल्कुल.
they will be confident. But also, you have to look at the way New Zealand is playing. Man, New Zealand has been really good in this series. They've been the better team for me. Almost अब 100 भी defend कर लिया. तो मेरे हिसाब से it won't be that easy for India this time around. And New Zealand also know where to put the pressure on. I think the death overs, they will look to attack India over there. And if they can get to a competitive total if they're batting first, or if they restrict India to a decent total, then New Zealand will definitely put India under pressure. What do you think about the pitch? Do you think the Ahmedabad curator will be a bit more careful, because we saw the Lucknow pitch go through all sort of problems? The captains had complained about it. I think the curator got sacked, if I'm not mistaken. So you think the pitch will be better to bat on for sure?
Yeah, 100% man. That's just इतनी sad चीज है यार. Okay भाई, एक क्यूरेटर का पिच उन्हें खुद से मतलब obviously थोड़ा बहुत सोच समझ के करना है, get all of the rules and stuff, but it's a sad sight man. बेचारा कितना बोले तो भी यार एक गलती भी नहीं थी यार. एटलीस्ट ही मेड इट मोर इंटरेस्टिंग फॉर मी. थोड़ा बहुत चैलेंजिंग बनाया उन्हें सिचुएशन, और आप उसके बेसिस पे आप उसको निकाल दिए. इट्स रियली एन अपसेटिंग साइट. But how definitely Abhi, I think India will want to play according to their strengths, and that's how it will be. The pitch will be laid out for a batsman's paradise, जो बोलते हैं अपन, and I think I see a lot of runs in this Ahmedabad one. You mentioned, आप बोले थे कि New Zealand has been really stepping up, and that's what we spoke about. ODI में अगर अपन ODI की टीम ले रहे हैं, New Zealand जो ODI में performance दी थी, they didn't have a lot of key players, is what we were talking about, right? In the likes of Williamson नहीं था, और अपने जो सऊदी नहीं था, दूसरे काफी लोग नहीं थे उनके स्क्वाड में. लेकिन अब T20 के पार्ट पे अगर अपन आ रहे, आई थिंक दे आर द मोर एक्सपीरियंस स्क्वाड when you compare it to Hardik Pandya and his boys. I mean, we do have decent players in our thing, but they've not played as much as New Zealand have played together throughout. I think Pakistan में भी काफी लोग साथी थे. तो मेरे हिसाब से I think New Zealand in that aspect, that's why they're turning out to be better in the T20 format rather than what they were in the ODI.
ऑल्सो मेरे को ये था, क्यूरेटर की बात कर रहे थे, मैं बोल रहा हूँ भाई कितने ओवर हुए गेम में? 40 ही हुए, राइट? 19.5 and 20, right? So like 20 over, so how is it not a 20 over pitch when it's lasted for 20 overs, man? I don't understand.
Exactly, that is the problem, no भाई, because हल्लक में आ गई थी सिचुएशन. और जिस तरीके, देखो भाई मैं एक ही चीज बोलता हूँ, जो when there's grass on the pitch, play ball बोलते, देखो वही है.
वो तो फ्लैट पिच पे भी आ सकते हैं.
हाँ, अब कल को फ्लैट पे भी आए तो अगर उसको मतलब वो कर दिए क्यूरेटर, उनको निकाल दिया, वो अनकॉल्ड फॉर यार. ये बहुत, एंड इट जस्ट गोज टू शो कितनी मॉबस्टर मेंटालिटी या गैंगस्टर मेंटालिटी यार. दैट्स जस्ट बहुत खराब भी दिखा मेरे को, बिकॉज भाई इतना कुछ बड़ा करना है. आप जो पॉइंट आउट करें, 20 ओवर का मैच था, 20 ओवर्स में खत्म हुआ. देयर वाज नो रीजन, मे बी चलो ठीक है, आई कुड से कि हाँ भाई अनएक्सपेक्टेड था, बट भाई come on, थोड़ा बहुत ड्यू भी नहीं था, वो भी फेवर में नहीं आया. I get it, a lot of things that you can say, but I
भाई
don't know,
ड्यू
man.
था, ड्यू था
मतलब
वहां
ड्यू,
पे, देखो
हाँ,
आई थिंक, मगर
उसके
यही है जो
कंट्रोल में
मैं
नहीं है
बोल,
ना, like at
भाई
the end of
वही
the
पे
day.
तो बॉलर के अगेंस्ट क्या क्या जाता भाई, ड्यू, यू नो द बाउंड्री रोप्स, द लार्ज बैट्स, एवरीथिंग इज अगेंस्ट द बॉलर. अगर एक मैच
Yeah.
आपको रैंक टर्न पे खेलना है, क्या प्रॉब्लम है भाई? कोई इशू नहीं होना चाहिए. और ऐसा नहीं है कि 5 ओवर में गेम खत्म हुआ, 40 ओवर तो खेले भाई, 20-20
और
तो
वो
खेले आप.
कंट्रोलेबल फैक्टर भी नहीं है भाई, लाइक हम पिच क्यूरेटर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी आप देखो, वो कंट्रोलेबल फैक्टर है. आपने मदर नेचर को थोड़ी आप रोक सकते ना कि भाई नहीं आज पानी न को निकालो या कुछ. इट्स जस्ट अ नेचुरल यू नो फिनोमेनन एंड यू कैन डू एनीथिंग अबाउट इट, एंड इट्स जस्ट सैड. एंड द वे हार्दिक आल्सो मेंशन्ड कि देखो हार्दिक का मेरे
No,
को ये
you
चीज
can,
पे इरिटेशन
you
होता
can.
क्या. नहीं, इरिटेशन क्या होता है मेरे को कि भाई आप एक तरीके से बोल रहे हो कि मैं चैलेंज करना चाह रहा हूँ कंडीशनली, वो कल को अगर कोई और कंट्री में आप जाके खेले और ऐसी पिच निकली तो आप वहां जाके गालियां देंगे, हम नहीं देंगे. बिकॉज आपको खेलना पड़ता है, यू शट योर माउथ एंड यू प्ले एट दैट पॉइंट, राइट. यू वॉन्ट बी सेइंग अरे भाई उन्होंने ऐसी पिच बनाई, यू वॉन्ट आप मुंह से
नहीं,
खेलना पड़ता
देखो,
है आपको.
आप कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं पिच कंडीशंस को, यू कैन डू दैट. द क्यूरेटर हैज इनफ टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एवरीथिंग टू मेक इट अ फ्लैट पिच इफ नीडेड, राइट? लेकिन if he did something like that, maybe like he didn't expect it to trend that much, because I think the soil that he used was more conducive to spin or whatever. But the thing is, for my point is कि भाई उन्हें पिच ऐसा बना भी दिया, अगर उन्हें बना दिया रैंक टर्नर अगर वैसा है, तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है एक मैच में अगर आप करें तो? आई डू नॉट
अच्छा,
अंडरस्टैंड
अब
द.
फ्लिप करेंगे, अब इमेजिन इट वाज 1-0 और इंडिया जीत जाती, कुछ कंप्लेन नहीं आता था. कुछ कंप्लेन नहीं आता था, अरे हमारे बॉयल
नहीं,
अच्छा
देखो
खेले.
इंडिया मैच जीती, इंडिया मैच जीती,
नहीं
फिर
नहीं
भी
नहीं,
कंप्लेंट तो आया.
अगर फर्स्ट T20 मैच जीती थी, फर्स्ट वाला, सेकंड भी
हाँ,
जीत गई थी, टूर्नामेंट जीत जाते थे, क्या बोलते थे हमारे बॉयल ऐसे पिच पे भी जीते. ये बात आती थी कि अरे हमारे
तो
बॉयल ऐसे पिच पे भी जीते.
ये टाइम
अब
क्यों
ये
नहीं बोले?
क्योंकि ये टाइम हल्लक में भी आ गए थे और 1-1 ड्रॉ के लिए था ना. साइकोलॉजी चेंज हो जाती है ना
वो
आपकी
तो
एज अ कैप्टन. आप अगर 2-0 जीत के आप खुश रहेंगे कि हाँ भाई ऐसे भी पिचेस पे देखो मेरे बॉयज शानदार प्रदर्शन करे, दे वर वेरी गुड, दे वर एबल टू अडेप्ट टू द कंडीशंस क्विकर, ओ माय गॉड बैक द बॉयज, राइट. अब फ्लिप करो आप, जब 1-1 की मेंटालिटी हो जाती है और 1-1 इतनी हार्ड फॉर्टेड रहती है ऑन 100 का थिंग, आपकी इज्जत एक तो चले जाती है, आप 100 रन बना ही नहीं पाए इजिली, राइट. सेकंड चीज ये हो जाती कि भाई 100 रन नहीं बना पाए. सेकंड चीज ये हो जाती कि भाई हमारे हमारे होम कंट्री का एडवांटेज हमारे को नहीं मिल रहा, राइट. तो ये 2-3 चीजें आ जाती है जो आपको दिल में धक्का पड़ता है, घर वाले हमारी मार रहे. तो ये तो बिल्कुल ही स्टूपिड बात थी. अगर 2-0 होता तो यकीनन ये बात सामने नहीं आती थी और लखनऊ पिच वाले भैया की जॉब अभी तक रहती थी. बट अब कुछ कर नहीं सकते. That's how it is, unfortunately. Part and parcel of the game बोलो या कुछ भी बोलो आप. But I still don't agree with that thing.
Let's go into our first section of the day and discuss some tactics and team selection. It's time for Captain's Corner. So, in terms of team selection, from New Zealand's point of view, I think it'll be pretty much the same team. They're doing well, and I think they'll continue with that. There will not be too many changes. From India's point of view, one change might be Umran comes in for Chahal, depending on the pitch. If it's not a Turner, then, and Hardik Pandya has been reading the pitch well, like I mentioned, so he will have a good idea before the toss. The other thing is Prithvi Shaw. Does he play? And if he plays, who does he come in place of? Because if you bring in instead of Kishan, then you don't have a wicket keeper. You'll have to bring in Jitesh Sharma as well. And or do you take out Shubman Gill, or do you take out Rahul Tripathi? What do you do if you need to play Prithvi Shaw in this last T20?
I think for me, if I'm gonna be honest, I will say Shubman Gill could I probably निकाल सकते ये मैच के लिए and give Prithvi Shaw an upper hand here because he deserved it. 1-1 पे सीरीज है, बट यही है कि भाई अगर अपन सोच रहे हैं I would say Prithvi Shaw open hands, बट अगर मैं हार्दिक पांड्या के मोमेंटम या दिमाग से जा रहा हूँ, he will be like 1-1 on the line. I can't take a risk, किसी को भी नया इन्वॉल्वमेंट करना at this point थोड़ा बहुत रिस्की हो सकता है. Maybe I'll just go with the same team just with the पिच देखे बाद में डिसाइड करूंगा कि चहल या कुलदीप किसको रखना है और उमरान किसको लाना है, वैसा सोचूंगा. बट अगर मेरे हाथ में होता है ये चीज तो ऑब्वियसली आई वुड गो आइदर टेक आउट ईशान किशन, ब्रिंग जितेश शर्मा, and yeah, maybe you could even take out Deepak Huda because you don't need that extra spinner. I don't know batting में साथ दे रहे नहीं ज्यादा, तो maybe you could take out Deepak Huda, bring in क्या बोलते हैं अपना Prithvi Shaw and lower down Ishan Kishan. Maybe you could do that also.
I think Deepak Huda will be there because of the balance and he's bowling. One option is you bring in him for Tripathi and you bat Shubman Gill at one down.
Yeah,
That's an option.
that is also option. Yeah, that's a good option.
I think like both openers have a problem. I think if Hardik Pandya is thinking it's a risk to bring in Prithvi Shaw, I think it's a risk by keeping this pair because they have not performed, and not in just this T20 series, even against Sri Lanka, they have not shown that performance. And probably it's time to try. It doesn't guarantee that Shaw will also come and smash. If you see Shaw's average is even less than Ishan Kishan in the IPL. Like Shaw average is 24, I think. Ishan Kishan average is around 27 in the IPL. So it's not like Shaw will come.
I don't think अभी देखो मैं एक और चीज बोलते IPL को लाना भी बीच में I don't think would be fair. अभी इस तरीके से इस कमबैक अभी तो ने बहुत टाइम के बाद आ ही रहा वापस. तो I think जिस तरीके से देखे just assess it based on this series. Based on this series अगर आप देखें Prithvi Shaw, I know you can't assess it like that, but I'm just saying कि भाई for Prithvi Shaw then I mean then where does he get the break? How does he get the break? I mean, it'll be based on the series,
I'm not
right?
saying that. I'm saying that even if you bring him in, there's no guarantee that he will perform based on his averages, even for India, right? There's no guarantee. But I think you should take that risk because right now, our confidence chale ja rahi, right? Shubman Gill on Noki, like, and they have not lived up to the mark. So,
भाई ये भाई तो कहाँ चले गए भाई? आप केएल राहुल की शादी में गए थे क्या चिराग भाई? कहाँ चले गए थे भाई? गायब ही हो गए, दिख रहे नहीं. But yeah, Mustafa, you're right. I think that is one option where you mentioned Ishan Kishan and Prithvi can open and Shubman can come one down for a Tripathi, unless they want to give Tripathi another chance. Maybe अगर off spinner track नहीं है, maybe Ishan Kishan can go lower order and Prithvi Shaw can come up is also one option that they can do. After Surya, Ishan Kishan is anyway going to play, so you could take out Deepak Huda as well. But given the balance of the team, then maybe you're right, where Tripathi has to be sacrificed.
You can't take out Huda.
Yeah, so Tripathi का लड़का sacrifice हो जाएगा, मिर्जापुर में आग लगने वाली है.
Yeah, like again, Tripathi hasn't done last 2 games he didn't perform, but he hasn't done much wrong. And Hardik Pandya also praised him for the way he's playing for the team. So मेरे लिए थोड़ा सा समझ में नहीं आएगा. It'll be a difficult call for Hardik Pandya, whether it's Shubman Gill, whether it's thing. But I think just give Prithvi Shaw a chance and see how what happens. The series is on the line, but it's not like your openers have done anything to cement their place. So why not?
100%.
यहाँ पे बदरुद्दीन सिद्दीकी, क्या बात है. कितने बजे स्टार्ट होगा भाई मैच? शुरू होगा आपके टाइम से, अगर आप इंडिया में है it will start at 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m.
7 बजे शुरू होगा बदरुन भाई. and अहमदाबाद में मैच है.
If you're in Dubai, it starts at 5:30. If you're in Saudi, 4:30. If you're in Canada, it will start, I will tell you exactly, 8:30 a.m. So in Eastern time.
7 बजे शाम में भाईजान.
So yeah, and then regarding the middle order right now, like Surya Kumar, Hardik Pandya, you'll have Deepak Huda. They'll play much of the same. I don't think that will really move. It's all about that opening partnership, and that's why I want to see if India need to win this series, they'll have to have a good opening start, put New Zealand under pressure, and then the middle order can come capitalize it, allow Surya Kumar, Hardik Pandya to play fluently, play their natural game, and it takes that pressure off. They don't need to get the eye in or anything like that. So the opening pair, the top 3, will be important.
Do you think that 1-1 will play a factor in sacrificing Prithvi Shaw? The 1-1 aspect that this is for winning the tournament. Do you think that would factor in or no? You would just say कि भाई लाइट ना form में नहीं है बोल के.
But I'm not saying to play him to give him a chance. I'm saying to play him to win the series. There's a difference.
I know. I'm not asking like based on Pandya's thought process. Do you think he would go with a set team को नको उंगली करो, या would you say कि addition लाके
I think Pandya का जो process है, he plays horses for courses. He looks at players in form. He उन्हें उंगली करा last match में. चाहल को लेके आया उमरान की जगह में. He read the pitch well.
Yeah.
So and if you're looking at he's looking at the conditions. If there's runs on offer, why not play Prithvi Shaw? If it's a flat track, go with Prithvi Shaw and smash it. I think Hardik Pandya will definitely think about it. Whether he takes that call, I'm not sure. Only
he read the pitch well, but the pitch didn't the pitch curator didn't read him well. बेचारा निकल गया. Sad हो जा रहा. कितना spin होगा कल? ऐसा रहेगा wicket flat.
Ahmedabad is known for rank turners in Test cricket. We've seen I saw 2 Test matches in one series where it finished in 2.5 days. Where Akshar Patel went and took 100 wickets. So I think Ahmedabad had the potential to spin, but they will make sure that it doesn't spin tomorrow. I think that's what I feel. They don't want their jobs to be on the line. They'll make sure that there's runs on offer. I don't agree with it. I'd say जो भी natural है वो conditions में आप बनाओ pitch. अगर टर्न हो रहा ठीक है, नहीं हो रहा तो ठीक है, like
एक्सेप्ट
just
करो
put
यार,
on.
जो भी सामने आई थिंक एक्सेप्ट करना। हाँ ठीक है, ठीक है, मैं समझता हूँ होम एडवांटेज के लिए आप थोड़ा अपसेट हो सकते हैं, but it was not like it was just against you, right? It was against the opposition team as well. New Zealand got out on 100 and he found, and New Zealand के टीम में तो बॉलर भी और चैपमैन को ढूंढा एंड में, उन्हें किस किस को से भी ग्लेन फिलिप्स को दला लिया। तो यू हैव टू टेक दोस बोल्ड डिसीजन एज द कैप्टन एंड जस्ट प्ले द गेम। आई नो थोड़ा बहुत वो हो रहा है कि भाई हमारे घर में हमारे कोई एडवांटेज नहीं है, बट you've got to just suck it up and play. And अहमदाबाद आई थिंक उतना बुरा तो नहीं हो सकता जैसे अपन लखनऊ में देखे। मोली स्किड हो सकता बॉल, दैट्स अ नेचुरल थिंग, लाइक स्किड होना, डिलीवरी लाइक मुसाविर, अक्षर पटेल ज्यादा विकेट लिए, बट आई डोंट थिंक उतना स्पिन होगा। एंड आई एम प्रीटी श्योर द क्यूरेटर विल बी जस्ट प्रेइंग कि उसकी जॉब रहे आफ्टर द मैच।
भाई होम एडवांटेज तो ही था वो लखनऊ में, टर्न इंडिया
हाँ बट
ओवर।
it went it went against them. No, that's the thing.
That's so you have to question your team's batting. You have to question how they're playing spin now. Maybe these guys don't know modern day players, don't know how to play spin that well.
Yeah,
Then you have to look at your strengths. Your strength is not playing spin anymore. It's playing on flat tracks, and that's not going to work. As you remember in the UAE, they played a full
yeah.
IPL there, half a IPL there, and they got used to the conditions. The pitches became
They
even
came back.
worse, but they
Yeah.
were still used to the conditions. They stayed there. They played the T20 World Cup. China Afridi came and just tore them apart. Whenever there's a issue in the pitch, they're struggling. So why don't you improve your batting? Why don't you look at that as a challenge and play on these kind of pitches? Put grass on the next pitch and let it swing. So why not? Because you can only score on flat tracks. Then it's not going to work in the
Then there's
World
no
Cup.
point. Now, how are you going to perform in Australia? Then how are you going to perform in South
Or
Africa?
या और फ्लैट ट्रैक में भी जब प्रेशर आता है, जब आप वो हिसाब से मारते नहीं, आप टाइम लेते हैं अपना, तो लाइक ऐसा थोड़ी होगा। यू हैव टू टेक द चैलेंज। चिराग भाई वो पूछ रहे हैं कि वो सारे ओवर खुद क्यों डालता है, कैप्टन
कौन?
है भाई, कुछ भी कर
पांड्या
सकते हैं।
कहाँ डाल रहा है यार पूरे ओवर तूने, मतलब he's distributing it well. I think he's been good in that aspect, where in the last match he played the spinners and जल्दी ला लिया, and he understood the pitch like Mustafa said, and he played it according to the conditions. I don't think उन्हें सारे
No,
ओवर डाल रहा है।
he made a mistake. He made a mistake. He overbowled himself in the last game. Chahal should have finished his quota because इतना turn हो रहा है भाई आप।
अच्छा वो एक aspect, but again it was again that left-handers were on the pitch or something,
बोल
that
के
was the also maybe.
नहीं,
But yeah, I
मेरे
mean
हिसाब से तो
there
गलती
will
है।
always be one bad apple about someone or the other in the match. Everyone can't get 100% everything right. But yeah, I still not liking him bowling first. Mavi and Arshdeep should bowl even if they. But I think वो pitch called for that kind of a situation, and I think credit to Pandya. I mean definitely end के over में आके सीधा Mavi को डालना also a good challenge for Mavi. I know Musa will not agree because I see that smirk in him. But I think Mavi के लिए
No,
it was a
no,
good
I
challenge.
agree with that. I just don't
Yeah.
agree with not finishing Chahal's quota. You have to finish his quota, bro. Like, come on.
So yeah, for me, I think that was also a good enough challenge कि मावी को एक्सपीरियंस मिल गया कि भाई कभी कभी आपको मैच में पूरा 4 ओवर नहीं मिलेंगे, आपको शायद लाके सीधा बिग ओवर दे देंगे, 1 ओवर इज इक्वल्स टू 4 हो जाएगा मसला आपके लिए। सो यू हैव टू जस्ट होल्ड योर बेस्ट ओवर एट एनी गिवन पॉइंट ऑफ द टाइम in the match. And Arshdeep also already knows that, so I don't think Arshdeep really needs experience. He's already got hit quite a few times, 27 runs in the last one. So I think Arshdeep is much more experienced at this point when you compare him to a Mavi. But I think it was a good call for
That's also the captain's fault. इतना तमाशा करके प्रेशर में ला लिया बच्चे को. That's also the
Washi
captain's
को
fault.
finger injure हुई last match में, not sure, he might be out next match. I don't think I've read anything. सुबह से तो कुछ नहीं देखा मैं इसके बारे में, but Musa, do you have any news on Washington Sundar's finger?
He did get hit a bit on the finger, so like we'll see tomorrow if he plays or not. Otherwise, I think Shabazz in the squad, he might play, or they might go with I don't know, maybe play both Chahal and Kuldeep again. Lekin that will weaken the batting a bit.
Of course,
Washington
yeah,
Sundar has been great in this series so far. He's done really well, both with bat and ball. So I hope he's okay. And this is a problem with him. He does have injury concerns, and he has to work on his fitness. And I know sometimes finger injuries you can't do much about it. Lekin he has to be fit.
Yeah, 100%. He has to be fit, man. Technically gifted batsman. Loving his batting, man. क्या मजा आ रहा देखने में.
Yeah, comment Ashish is in the house. Thank you so much for joining us. T20 wickets must be equal for both. Financial side of cricket demands it. If IPL team defends 120 at Chennai, then it's a brilliant game. But if India struggles to make 100, then it's a poor wicket.
Yeah, that's वो बिल्कुल सही बात है. It's just so upsetting to see, and it's such a hypocritic view of the BCCI also to do that. And I think it was a good entertaining match as well from a viewer's perspective, a neutral perspective देख रहे हो. Obviously आप चिढ़ सकते हैं भाई एक हद तक के भाई ये, but फिर भी मेरे को तो चिढ़ा ही वो देखे तो इस क्यूरेटर बेचारा. I feel bad for him.
अब मतलब आप बोल रहे हैं कि ये जो फॉर्मेट है, आप इट्स ओनली फॉर बैटिंग, मतलब खाली छक्के चौके चाहिए आपको, बाउंड्री चाहिए,
बिकॉज फिर पब्लिक
एंटरटेनमेंट।
नहीं भाई, पब्लिक नहीं आएंगे ना देखने, अगर कोई छिक्का नहीं मारे। आई डोंट बिलीव इन दैट। पब्लिक एंजॉयड द bowling, पब्लिक एंजॉयड ड्रामा, पब्लिक एंजॉयड एक्शन, एंड वी गॉट ऑल ऑफ दैट इन दैट सेकंड T20 आई थिंक।
Yeah, it has to be a good contest between bat and ball. And sometimes if the bowlers dominate, so be it. We've seen like so many 200 scores already. We have now in one day cricket batsmen scoring double hundreds like almost every year. So like if that's happening, then like agar ek baar mein aap all out ho gaye 80 or 90 ke liye, what's the big deal? I don't think it's the it's a question on the batting skill, man. I think the skill level is dropping then at batting if you can't play on these kind of pitches, or if you're complaining about these pitches. That means आपका skill का कुछ issue है batting wise, और वो आपको fix करना पड़ेगा. And clearly India have problems whenever there is some bowling conditions. They have a problem with the bat, and it causes them to lose big games as
Yeah,
well.
and that, coming to think of it, that's probably in most of them. Like KL Rahul also struggles in the opening overs in Australia. We saw him; he was struggling. For that first second over में उसकी फट जाती, थोड़ा बहुत मूवमेंट रहा तो उन्हें नहीं संभाल सकता। अगर फिर अपन शुभन गिल क्रॉस द लाइन अगर जा रहा हमेशा, शुभन गिल is getting top edge and caught. Ishan Kishan, like you said, he looks a little bit dicey when it comes to the similar situation like KL Rahul. Just it is a big problem and you can't hide behind those shouting at people and stuff. कल को आप कोई दूसरे देश में जाके खेलेंगे तो it doesn't mean कि आप you will get the pitch according to your needs. You have to develop the skill and obviously make rank turners, make every kind of pitch, and hopefully upskill them.
Whatever BCCI say, then they do the opposite. Cross formats players नहीं चाहिए, then Shaun Surya. I think management is the issue. ये World Cup भी लगने वाली है. Look, the thing is, management is the issue, but I still feel that the 11 that play are generally they also are good enough to win games. Like for example, that game against England, India could have won that game if they played to their potential. Lekin they don't do that. So it's a mix of everything. You can't just blame the management, can't just blame the players, you can't just blame the captain. Everybody has to be called out and everybody has to take accountability. And look, in India, you're always going to have these problems because there's always going to be a problem of plenty. You have so many options in every single position. There's going to be media pressure. The most scrutiny is on the Indian team. If you go to every big tournament, the scrutiny is under the Indian team. Everybody's looking at that Indian team, criticizing that Indian team or praising that Indian team. All the limelight is always on the Indian team. तो उस हिसाब से गलतियां तो होने वाले हैं, and everybody has to take accountability in different aspects. केएल राहुल तो सीधी विकेट पे स्ट्रगल करता है. बात सही है भाई, वो सीधी विकेट थी सेमीफाइनल में एडिलेड में, सीधी विकेट थी वो. He struggled in that. It's correct comment, and this is the problem. Like if I think India need to play on more challenging wickets. Then if that's the thing, and they have to. I don't know what they have to do, but definitely there's a lot of concerns for him. A lot of concerns going into the World Cup. 100%. आप जितना भी template change कर लो, वो change कर लो, pressure तो आएगा आप पे. There's going to be certain. This is also skill they have to develop, Fez, man. We talk about selection, we talk about all this skill they have to develop. I think in certain areas, other teams just outperform them. Whether it's playing against spin, whether it's power hitting. Australia and England have better finishes. Whether it's opening batting, there's a lot of places where they have to improve their skill according to that format.
Yeah, I think they definitely do, and I think अगर आप देख रहे कि भाई with India, see I understand media part आप जो बोल रहे रहता है, and I'm always one for that. Social media impact रहता, scrutiny रहती, सब रहता वगैरह वगैरह. But अभी देखो ये चीज आई थिंक एक 5 years से तो आप देख लो भाई, मीडिया अभी तक तो एक टेम्पलेट बना लेना था हाउ टू हैंडल द सिस्टमाइज द होल थिंग, राइट? आई मीन 10 साल से है तो आप बोल सकते T20 चल रहा, T50 like 50 ओवर फॉर्मेट तो है ही, टेस्ट तो फॉर्मेट है, T20 एक ऐड हो गया, डोमेस्टिक लीग्स भी आप in the last 10 years तो रह सकते हैं. So as the BCCI, as the management, as the coaching staff, you have to you could have come up with a better system as how you rotate the players, how you keep it fresh and stuff. वो चीज पे कोई काम नहीं कर रहे. They're जैसे कि अभी जो चल रहा है सामने उसके ऊपर ध्यान दो, आगे का नहीं सोचना. And then again अभी जो अपन बात करें in terms of upskilling the players, वो भी नहीं हो रहा कहीं. जो because everybody is worried about their seat in the Indian cricket team, everybody is worried about their seat wherever they're playing. जहां से भी हमारे को मौका मिल रहा है हम वो करेंगे और उसके हिसाब से खेलेंगे. तो आगे लाइक सूर्य कुमार अगर आप देखो उसको रन नहीं मिल रहे थे, but he what did he do? He upskilled himself, and I think he's the prime example that you can see he can play every kind of shot in the book. And that's what helps him to sort of dictate that walking into the T20 format. And that's what these guys have to realize. In KL Rahul and Ishan Kishan, don't worry about your seat, worry about upskilling yourself, become such a big asset दैट आपको कोई निकाल ही नहीं सकता, यू नो. अरे भाई ने हर कंडीशन में खेल सकता बोल तो कितने प्लेयर बोल सकते हैं भाई हम हर कंडीशन में खेल सकते हैं. आई थिंक अपार्ट फ्रॉम मे बी विराट कोहली एंड रोहित शर्मा राइट नाउ, नो वन कैन से दैट.
Mm-hmm. But Dr. Food is saying Mustafa is bleeding blue today.
ब्लीडिंग ब्लू
Yeah,
मुस्तफा, या अंदर से बाहर ब्लू है नो.
yes, sir. What are your thoughts on PCB hiring Mickey Arthur as online coach? So my opinion on this is that I think Mickey Arthur, the way he was treated after his first round was unfair. He's the guy who got, who was there when Pakistan lifted the Champions Trophy. It was an incredible achievement. You can say you had some big players in that thing, but that team wasn't as strong. There was a lot of weaknesses in that team. He got them to that trophy, and it's not just the trophy I'm talking about. He got them to the number one T20 team. So if they're hiring him, he should be hired as the physical coach. Online coaching, I don't think it's going to work. भाई उन्हें जो भी बोला जूम कॉल पे बंद करके फिर कुछ भी कर सकते हैं असिस्टेंट कोच और प्लेयर फिजिकल प्रेजेंस जरूरी है. And the reason why I think he's playing hard to get is because how he was treated before. I'm sure that he's getting. Pakistan is desperate to get him in the new regime. Under Sethi Saab, they want a Mickey Arthur back, and that's why they're doing anything and everything possible to fit him in this. And because he's showing a bit of hard to get kind of attitude, so they said, "Ki bhai, chalo online to kar do." I don't agree with it. I think a coach needs to be physically present in the dressing room. Of course, it's not as a coach is not as influential as a football coach, but in cricket, you still need the presence of somebody there in the dressing room who will talk to the captain, discuss with the
I think,
captain, maybe sometimes
if I'm
talk to
not
the
wrong,
captain.
Mickey Arthur isn't he the team manager and the coach? I think someone from Islamabad United.
That's the assistant coach. Online, he's online coach and he's the director of cricket. So I don't
Ah,
know, like
director, yeah, yeah.
they're gonna keep changing the wording, but basically he's going to be because he's I think the coach of Durham or another county in England, so he's not leaving that job, and he'll be coaching in other leagues as well or something. I don't get that. You need to have a full time coach, especially
Yeah,
in
and
the
there's too many things that would be distracting him. He won't be focusing. And like you said, बिल्कुल अगर ऑनलाइन अगर है तो अपने को तो मालूम ऑनलाइन काम कैसा करते. लैपटॉप में लाइट चली गई आज, ये चली गई आज बोल के मिक्की आजर भाग जाएंगे कहीं कि लाइट नहीं है ना, ट्रांसफार्मर फट गया मैडम, आई हैव टू गो टू हॉस्पिटल मैडम बोल के भाग जा सकते हैं. बट या आई मीन दे आर जस्ट probably.
आजकल तो ऑप्शंस है. अब वैसा नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मगर इन अ स्पोर्ट लाइक दिस आई थिंक यू नीड टू बी फिजिकली प्रेजेंट. फॉर अस इट्स फाइन. You can go in a different country and you can work from there and I can work from here. It's not a problem. But if you're
Yeah.
a coach of a cricket team, the responsibilities is you need to be present over there. I think the coach needs to he needs to know how the players are playing. Bhai, imagine there's a World Cup now in October, right? Now Mickey Arthur is not going to be there in the next series, for example, which is in after the PSL, maybe March, April. Le lo aap. How will he know who's actually in form, who's not? Maybe spotting talent, also looking at local stuff. How will he know? How will he make those decisions? That's my
Yeah,
question.
100%. And I think it will be uh, difficult to assess also on TV. कितना ही बोल के आप देख सकते हो, nitty-gritties आप देख नहीं सकते. आप अंदर के जो गिचियां हैं, अंदर के जो लड़ाइयां हैं, कराची एंड पेशावर ज़ल्मी ये वो सब नहीं देख सकते आप वो battles. So I think Mickey Arthur definitely should be there. But yeah, let's see what he does. Hopefully from an online system. Will Shaw play or Pandya will back the good boy Gill? I feel that Shaw should play, and I think Pandya will probably play Shaw, hopefully, and I feel that he will get a chance. What do you think, Mustafa?
I think Shaw will play.
Yeah, I feel like Shaw should play, but yeah, I don't know, man. You can't say anything with these guys. कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता. But now management is giving chances on consistent basis. Players need to step up, else Rohit and Viral will walk in this 11 whenever they want. At least make it tough for them. 100% Chirag bhai, but I think again it's like a new team and they're just trying to get momentum back. And I think agar kal ka match jeete, then obviously two victories under their hat will be a very big improvement. Sri Lanka ko haraye, New Zealand ko haraye, and informed New Zealand both सकते at least ko haraye. So it's a very big achievement for Hardik Pandya and the boys. And I think collective effort is more important, and I can see that. Hopefully, individually, we're not going to be too reliant, but yeah, when it requires that, also it can come from a Shubman Gill, it can come from a Surya Kumar, so that's also good. Good mix. I think right now Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma could probably walk in, but give them a few more tournaments and let's see what happens. But yeah, so what do you think about this?
I think also there's one thing that no matter how much of a long rope you give your players, there's always a job insecurity in the Indian team because there's so much competition. The level of competition is extremely high, and that is the problem. And that's why players, younger players, fail to utilize, whether it's Gaikwad, whether it's Prithvi Shaw, Ishan Kishan. I think only Rishabh Pant in recent past has really cemented his place. Otherwise, all these youngsters have definitely struggled to cement their place. And the reason is
Yeah.
job insecurity and the pressure of playing for the Indian team.
क्या म्यूजिक बज रहा है मुस्ताफा आके पीछे तो क्या किया आवाज आ रही the manager of Islamabad United will be a new manager for Pakistan national team. Yeah, that's what I read as well. Like Islamabad United will be the के जो कोच है उन्हें मैनेजर बनने वाले मिकी आर्थर आई मुस्तफा सही वाला डायरेक्टर रहने वाले हैं.
But coach तो मिकी रहेंगे, right? Manager तो
that I'm
अलग
not
रहता है.
sure. Yeah, manager अलग रहता है. मुश्किल है क्या तो भी ना वर्डिंग्स चेंज करके अलग कर दिए पहले तो माँ बहन कर दी इंग्लिश की. Who do you think will be who do you think will tomorrow Tahir bhai will win? Okay. I feel honestly I feel India is going to lose tomorrow. And I think New Zealand will come back stronger from what they did batting wise. It was a tricky pitch first in Lucknow for both the sides. It was not just one side affair, and New Zealand has been bowling phenomenally well. If a Conway and a Mitchell again get going, or if a Finn Allen gets going tomorrow, then I can see New Zealand scoring a 200, and I feel it will be putting pressure on India. So,
Yeah, I mean it's a tough call, I think, but tomorrow, India has a good record at home, so I think India will definitely.
Mickey Arthur might have seen Babur's picture. तो उससे क्या होने वाला है भाई इसलिए
भाई
ऑनलाइन क्लास कोचिंग ले
मैं एक चीज बोलूं,
ऑनलाइन
I don't think Babar Azam might not be happy with this. Mickey Arthur is Sarfaraz his boy, bro. I don't think Babar
boy,
Azam will be
yeah,
happy with this appointment.
and I think he was pushing also for Sarfaraz to become captain over Babar. I think that was also one reason why in the middle, if you remember, उन्हें appoint हो रहे थे, but due to this discussion of giving Sarfaraz the captaincy, I think he opted out again, and there was something like that in the middle. So yeah, it's the thing.
What?
या बीच में मिकी आर्थर का नाम आया था जस्ट बिफोर द आई थिंक न्यूजीलैंड सीरीज और आफ्टर द न्यूजीलैंड सीरीज उसका नाम आया था टू बिकम द कोच अगेन and I think he had wanted Babar. I think they wanted Babar to be captain of one format and not all the formats, something like that. He had advised to the PCB and the PCB rejected that, and that is when that whole dissolution thing happened.
One more thing I want to say on that thing, the Babar and thing. If Mickey Arthur becomes the coach, I won't be surprised if Sarfaraz leads Pakistan in the One Day World Cup. It's a very big call. It's a very out of the box call, but I won't be surprised if Sarfaraz becomes the captain of Pakistan in India and leads his team.
Yeah, it's actually a fair shot. That could happen. See, so he decided to coach for maximum distance possible. Exactly, online coaching safety parliament, but you can still send you can still send pics online, so you never know. Chirag bhai, bro, the game is in Gujarat, but भाई पूरा IPL का रिजल्ट पता चल गया था जब फाइनल वहां था. पांड्या नहीं हारेगा वहां. Yeah, that's a good shot. That's a good shout, but I mean, I hope Prithvi gets his chance. And in अभी जिस तरीके से का उसका form है, it is dodgy. But yeah, Gujarat again does speak volumes in terms of team selection. In a aspect, आप सही बोल रहे कि भाई Shubman Gill could come in, and what Mustafa suggested also, maybe drop Shubman Gill one down, bring Prithvi Shaw. That can also be a possibility, and then Rahul Tripathi can sit the bench. So that's also a possibility there to get Prithvi Shaw in. But yeah, that's all the possibility we can see. But कल मालूम होगा क्या होता.
मेरे को एक सवाल है, हम लोग कितना म्यूजिकल चेयर्स खेलेंगे मगर, बिकॉज मैं आपको एक चीज बोलूं, मैं जब जितना क्लोजली क्रिकेट अब देख रहा हूँ, राइट, पहले मैं देखता था एज अ व्यूअर, एज अ फैन. Now I watch it a bit more closely, and one thing I noticed is that every single series there's always भाई इसको लेके आओ, इसको क्यों बिठाए. अब कल के दिन पृथ्वी शॉ खेलने वाले, आप बोलेंगे संजू सैमसन को लेके आओ, फिर ये बोलेंगे, तो ये कितना चलेगा म्यूजिकल चेयर्स? I don't know man, like for me that's the most like frustrating thing.
म्यूजिकल चेयर्स इसलिए भी हो सकता है मुस्तफा, देखो एक तो इंजरीज लगातार किस ना किसको होते रहते, वन, देन फिर टू ये है कि किसी का फॉर्म तो चलता रहता नहीं कंसिस्टेंटली इंडियन टीम में. आप देख लो, शुभमन इतना अच्छा चला तब शुभमन भी बढ़ गया, ईशान 200 मारा उसके बाद उन्हें बढ़ गया, सैमसंग तो इंजर्ड हो गया, फिर इन्हें इंजर हो जा रहा. सो इंजरीज है, देयर इज नो कंसिस्टेंट परफॉर्मेंसेस, देन यू लाइक यू सेड स्किल लेवल भी आप एक लेवल तक बोल सकते हैं कि नहीं होती. अगर आपको ऑस्ट्रेलिया कहीं टीम लेके जाने का है तो आपको दूसरे लोगों को सोचना पड़ता कि उनला कैसा खेलते हैं वहां विकेट पे. फ्लैट विकेट पे तो आपको बहुत मिल जाएंगे. तो देयर इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी दिस म्यूजिकल चेयर काइंड ऑफ अ सिचुएशन, आई थिंक. What do you feel, Brian?
No, I just think it causes a bit of disruption and thing. Like even if the guy is not performing, you play him to the end of the series and then think. Now I know I'm sounding a bit thing that I want Prithvi Shaw to play. Lekin, I think even if you look, even if you're going to make changes, make subtle changes, no problem. I don't have a problem with it. But don't think that that change is going to win you the World Cup. At certain
Mm.
times, you need to you still have to back your players. You
Of
still have
course,
to
yeah.
you still have to back whoever is playing. I'm not saying don't make changes. Don't get me wrong. You should make changes. If the guy is not performing, you have to drop him. Lekin, at the same time, don't expect that player coming in because you're going to put so much pressure on Prithvi Shaw. And maybe if he doesn't perform, then आपको फिर से problem हो जाएगा. So in my thing is whatever your pick is, give him that confidence key and don't try to keep someone out too long. If he's in form, play him. That's what I would do. Like for
Mm.
example, like a Gaikwad should have been played, but when he did play, he didn't get the results in. So that's the problem that I have. Whenever they come into the Indian team, there's that much pressure that they deserve their opportunity, but they don't make the most out of it. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But that is what the thing is, no? And I think people are so committed on getting that seat, and I really understand कि भाई आप कितने मुश्किलों से आते हैं, but also at the same time आप upskill करते रहो. अगर आप फुटबॉल में देखो भाई, you have to keep upskilling yourself and to get a better contract. Or else आप you get thrown back into different leagues and worse teams. So I think स्किल फैक्टर इतना अच्छा बना लो कि आप एसेट है ना, आप फ्री किक्स भी मारो, आप पेनल्टीज भी मारो, आप सब मारने की कोशिश करके सीखो. सेमली आप फ्लैट टिकट करते फ्लैट विकेट पे या बाउंसी विकेट पे, हर जगह आप एक एसेट बन के रहो. इवन इफ यू डोंट गेट कंसिस्टेंट रन, आई थिंक पीपल विल स्टिल ऑप्ट फॉर यू. But it's a lot of ifs and buts, but you can only do so much. Mickey Arthur also might be also not committing and keeping his Derbyshire job as city is not guaranteed to be PCB chairman in 5 to 6 month time. Oh yeah, that's true. In लोगों की नहीं जमती, and that's why last time भी निकल गए थे. That's actually a good shout. But I don't think Mickey Arthur उतना लंबा सोच रहा होगा. But actually he could also. You never know. Till we get tired, we will play musical chairs. Okay. What are your thoughts on Lucknow pitch curator being fired? वो बहुत ज्यादा थॉट्स दे दिया हमें, एंड माय थॉट्स गो आउट टू हिम एंड हिज फैमिली. बेचारी की रोजी एंड रोटी दोनों, उसकी रोजी भी गुस्से में होगी, उसकी रोटी भी नहीं रही, एंड जस्ट अपसेटिंग है. बट
Yeah, to keep it short, I feel that he should not have been fired. And we mentioned this at the start of the show. We gave our reasons, but he should not have been fired. I don't think the last one should be considered to sit anyone out. It could be not. And again, if they lose, then all the selections and everything will be questioned. If they win, then nobody's going to say anything. If Prithvi Shaw comes in, bangs an 80 of 30, Hardik will be looked at as a genius.
yeah,
If not, if he comes in and scores a zero, then you'll have that problem that whoever comes into the Indian team, it takes them time to settle. They can't immediately come and score runs or take wickets. It'll take some time.
yeah,
Also, one thing
100%.
that what I've seen is with the Indian players, one thing that I'm noticing, I'm sure it happens with other players, other teams as well, is that the first year some of them have a really good season, like
Hmm.
Arshdeep, and this I'm talking whether it's Indian cricket, international or domestic, they have a couple of good seasons, and then the second or third season they get found out. And I hope it doesn't happen with Arshdeep, but Venkateshwar is an example. First season IPL he was on fire, and then they found him out. He hasn't look the same. So that's something that I think they need to continue to work on the game, look to improve their game, and see where they can improve because it's happened quite a few times now, and I hope it
I think
doesn't happen
a
with
prime
Arshdeep.
example of that in this current format or current cricket scenario would be Siraj, right? Siraj was also being caught, found out. He was getting smashed all over the park. What did he do? He developed his game. He developed new balls and techniques, how to get wickets. Apart from obviously variations, you also have to have a mindset, a positive attitude, an aggressive attitude. That hunger to and desire to win the game, that hunger and desire to improve yourself. I think that is what Siraj has done phenomenally well. And you can see outswinger, you can see leg cutters, you can see drama when he comes to bowl. And I think they should just take that as an example. So
Yeah,
I think
let's.
it's like being caught out is
Happen.
easy, man, and because about the amount of cricket that you get played in
Oh,
this era. Back in the day, आप देख लो, Sachin and like Sachin कहते ये अपने जहीर खान इन लोगों को ज्यादा नहीं करते थे find out, but I think after IPL, Zahir Khan also reverse swing कितना शुरू कर दिया था. He started getting new and new variations in him towards the end of his career because he understood कि भाई इतने एक बॉल से नहीं होगा, because आप इतना same kind of लोगों से आप कितना साथ में क्रिकेट खेलते हो, उन लोगों को पढ़ के फेंक देते. So I think you just have to start developing poker faces, new balls, and like new variations and stuff like that.
Yeah, saying say Mustafa, I don't see our players grow with time, except some. Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's some players do grow, some and a lot of players don't grow, and there's growth does get stunted. And some of the very talented players, like Karun Nair, has a triple hundred in Test cricket. It's not a joke.
Yeah, yeah,
And where is he now? Like, so I don't know what it is, man. But maybe it's like that extreme pressure of playing for India. Maybe it's like other teams doing their homework. There could be a lot of things. Yeah, I agree. The Lucknow pitch creator was not at fault totally, as he prepared two black soil pitches, and at the last moment he got instructed to prepare a red soil pitch. So if he was instructed, who was he instructed by? That
mm.
means they
We'll find
wanted
out in the season 4 of Inside Edge.
they wanted they wanted run on that pitch. That means, right? If he was instructed,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying, man. Even if he wasn't instructed, it's okay. Like you can have different pitches in different grounds. Once in a while, if you have a turning track, a low scoring game, there is no harm in that. So I don't know
yeah.
why he got bullied. First, I want to ask you with Ishan Kishan. Strike rotation has been a big issue. So how does he change that?
Mm.
How does he, because in the power play the fielders are in the circle, but he does get walked down. He can't find the gaps. Does he try to hit over the infield and at least get the single double like that? Like play those chip shots. What does he do different? Because right now he's being stuck at the crease.
Yeah, I think he just needs to do what you do on the first ball. Obviously, chip it down to third man and run. Mustafa के standard रहता है वो, he just hits it to third man. पहले ball मुस्ताफा भाई को run रहना जरूरी है. But yeah, in all seriousness, अगर मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि yeah, he should. I think he should just talk to Tendulkar and ML Dhoni, the one of the two best strike rotators of the game and running between the wickets. I think he has call issues also, Mustafa. I think he doesn't know understand. I
Babuga
think थोड़ा
also one of the greatest runners between the wickets. Man. He's really
एडीडी
fast.
थोड़ा एडीडी है शायद, उसको ना एकदम नहीं समझता कितनी दूर है बॉल है, या तो उसको चश्मों की जरूरत है या समथिंग, बिकॉज दैट सेकंड रन दैट ही टुक, ही इनिशियली जॉग्ड एंड देन ही डिसाइडेड कि नहीं भाई मैं तेज भाग सकता हूँ. So I don't know. I think he has a little bit of issue with calling rather than like running, but he could really fix that.
वो
He needs
एडिटिंग
to
नहीं
work that.
आता.
जो भी है वो, लेकिन उसको वर्कआउट तो करना पड़ेगा एंड वो नेट्स में ही कर सकते हैं. आई थिंक यू कांट डू इट इन बिटवीन द मैचेस, तो मुश्किल है. There's something in the net that he really needs to work out and speak to his mentors and coach and get that fixed ASAP. Because देखो भाई, running should ideally not be a problem with him, but it's just I think the calling and what time, how
But it's affecting his
stuff.
game, right? Like now his strike rate suddenly becomes low. And bro, even if you look at his IPL stats, it's not as impressive. He does have a few match-winning innings here and there. He had a very good run when Mumbai won in the lockdown period. But apart from that, he's had issues in the IPL also. And this is a consistent problem with him that he gets bogged down, whether it's in the power play or in the middle overs, and he does struggle against spin. He struggles to get the single doubles, whether it's the power play or not the power play. उसको issue होता. We saw in the one-day match, field spread out हो गया था. He could have taken, rotated the strike. He had a beautiful platform given by Rohit
Hmm.
Sharma and Shubman Gill, but he did not make the most of it.
Maybe he just need to start coming down the wicket or something and do what Dravid used to do also. Dravid आगे आके
But
पिक
he
करके
does, he
भागता.
does, he does step down the track, and he does,
Hmm.
he does do that, but it's not working. Well, do you think
Yeah.
it's a technical issue? Not just the thing like technical issue. Do you think is like it's something that he doesn't have? Like he struggles to pick the gaps, or what is it? Like it has to be something.
Caps to pick करना मुश्किल. I don't think he had a problem because the boundary that he hit was beautiful. I mean that square cut that he hit, he didn't find the gap there. But like I think थोड़ा बहुत लगता time, he just needs to just fix that in the nets and come back stronger. I know IPL ये वो सब ले रहे हैं अपन consideration में and a lot of data against him, but yeah, just something with time he'll improve.
I guess
But yeah,
also he has to
yeah,
improve his back foot game as well. Maybe that will help because sometimes he goes too much onto
cut,
the front foot. If he goes plays the cuts
cuts,
uh,
yeah.
and pulls and stuff like that, it might give him some more scoring opportunities. Like you said, footwork. You mentioned that maybe that's something that he has to look at. Let's wrap up the show. And with
Let's
that,
go to the tips and chips, bro. What's wrong?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So the wrap up our show. The last segment is FPL tips and chips.
FPL baby, FPL tips and chips. It's time to say. अच्छा मुसा आप शुरू करो because I usually am the one who you pick out. So give me your players from India, New Zealand tomorrow. I'm not sure आप अटक गया आप. अच्छा नहीं नहीं अटके.
Uh,
I'll give you name Surya Kumar, Hardik Pandya, Deepak Huda, Umran Malik, Kuldeep Yadav, Prithvi Shaw. Okay, you give one Prithvi Shaw if I'll take it like if he plays kind of a situation.
No, no, no. Rahul Tripathi. And then from
ओहो
New Zealand,
त्रिपाठी
if
को
you
तो निकाल रहे थे आप
yeah, if you मैं नहीं निकाल रहा था.
मतलब
I was that's what I was reading the article, the options that they have. That's one option. मैं तो Tripathi को खिलाऊंगा भाई. I'm not like I support my Sunrisers players. I want him to play, and I hope that he plays and performs. So I'll go with Rahul Tripathi. From New Zealand, I will go Mr. Uh, Mitchell Santner. I'm just really impressed with that guy, and I think I'm going to go with
yeah,
him
next
again.
level.
Whatever he's doing is turning to gold, and I really like his captaincy as well. So I'll go with these two. And I think he can give me some points with both bat and ball. So Santner it is. Tripathi is a gamble. He might not even play. If he doesn't play, then then I get 0 points. But let's go with that risk. Gotta live on the edge.
क्या बात है live on the edge. I'm gonna go with Phil Allen. अच्छा नहीं तो आशीष का pick है Phil Allen. I'll go with
Go,
Lockie
so go with
Ferguson
him.
actually.
No,
I'll go
go
with
with
Lockie
whoever you
Ferguson.
want, bro.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
whoever
going
you
with
want.
Lockie. Yeah, let me go with Lockie
You can go
Ferguson.
Finn Allen.
No, let me go with Lockie Ferguson. I'm gonna go with
That's
Lockie Ferguson.
that's Vinny's pick.
एक काम करो भाई नहीं करता जाओ नहीं I'm gonna go with Lockie Ferguson because last match में भी उन्हें अच्छा डाला given the pitch tension that he had on his shoulders bowling that massive over he bowled
Former
decent he
home
did
ground.
get caught out one
Former
sorry
home ground. His former home ground.
his former home ground and yeah I think so Lockie Ferguson from New Zealand for me and from India I am going to go uh, with Hardik Pandya I feel Hardik Pandya का time है
Please
कुछ
say.
करने के लिए yeah I feel this guy is very close to coming with the beginnings and stuff last match में he did help finish it off I mean not a very big contribution there but he was there so I'm going to go with Hardik Pandya and I'm going to go with Lockie Ferguson but yeah that's my pick for tomorrow there's also the England and South Africa match tomorrow
Butler, De Kock. But I don't think De Kock will play. Let me change that. Markram and Moin Ali. Moin Ali and Markram are my fantasy picks for tomorrow.
Butler De Kock chai single chai कल का
Markram and
मैच
Moin Ali. Markram, Moin Ali. Markram, Moin Ali. Markram, Moin Ali. Those are my picks. Yeah, so I'm actually intrigued for that game. I think the series has been very good. It's been exciting, and the way South Africa have played have been very impressive. The way they've been bowling. The first game, the comeback that they showed with the ball was outstanding. In the second game, the way they batted, Bahuma, man. Bahuma, I want to say, the guy is one of the best runners between the wickets. Outstanding, man. Itna tez unhe bhagta. And in one-day cricket, he has this ability to fit the gaps. He's not a big six-hitter. That's why T20 में थोड़ा issue होता है उसको. मगर उन्हें one-day में, especially power play में जो gap उन्हें ढूंढता, great man. Hand-eye coordination is very good. On a good wicket, he does really well. Now we'll see what happens in testing situations. Technically, he has flaws. If you see in Test cricket, I think bowlers fancy playing against him. But in one-day cricket, he's a very very good player, and I was very happy to see him perform like that. And it's been a good series. England,
yeah it's
obviously,
actually been a very good series and it's a good series in terms of
on
looking
the
at
pressure because they've lost back to back 8-9 games now, so they'll want to win this match. But again, not too many consequences. And I've also heard from a couple of sources that Ben Stokes might come back into the one-day scheme of things for the World Cup. It's not confirmed anything. It's still like rumor basis. There's nothing confirmed, but I think they're considering. I had a conversation with Robert Key. I think Rob Key that if you need me, I am available. But I don't quote me on it right now. But I think there's a possibility that Ben Stokes will come back. So I'm not too worried from England's perspective, even if they lose this game. But from South Africa's perspective, it's a very important
redemption
game.
yeah
To win.
very but also it's good to see South Africa bounce back especially after Australian series that was a horrific series for them I know it was test in different conditions and stuff but I think अगर white ball तो खेले भी नहीं थे उन्होंने recently I think they won 3 out of the last 5 and then winning these two really helps them a lot
I think they played in India last, right? Before the T20 World
yeah
Cup.
India
They played
yeah
1 days.
July
Isn't it 2-1? Yeah, 2-1 हारे थे. I remember, you can remind me, but that was the last. Not July. They played in before the T20 World Cup in September.
September
Yeah,
England
September.
yeah so
South Africa, India played.
yeah South Africa India but then in July we had I think England if I'm not wrong
Yeah.
but it was it's good to see them bounce back on Andre Nortje and what's his name, Rabada coming back in full swing. I mean, they still I think have a little bit of issues with the spin department in Tabrez Shamsi and Keshav Maharaj have not been performing very well. It's not been. And Marco Jansen has been phenomenal with the bat. I think it's turning out to be a good all rounder for them. There, adding thing and then Ngidi also chipping in. I think they just now need a very good spinner. They need to find a decent spinner which will help them because they have enough pacemen and Magala. They have Jansen. They have not Nokia Rabada. Just they need to develop a good spinner.
Tim
Yeah.
David has joined MI captain, Cape Town, sorry, as Livingston's
Yeah.
replacement, and Matthew Wade has joined Johannesburg Super Kings. David Willey has
Damn.
joined Durban Super Giants. Bro, how unfair is that, man? They
Team
had
David, man.
Livingston,
Oof.
they had Livingston, and now they're Tim David, man. Like, oof,
That guy
next
a
level.
finisher.
Even the overrated Ben Stokes can't help England. He doesn't need to, bro. He's already done what he has to do. My man's got like 2 World Cups in the bag, and he's just chilling. He doesn't need to help England. It's up to him. He's won World Cups. Unlike other all-rounders, he's won World Cups. He doesn't need to help.
Oh
It's
my
up to
god.
him.
Acha.
The game
Okay.
is in his hands. You know what I mean, bro? You know what I mean, mate?
The man name
हमारे
already.
भाई आजकल हमारे भाई आजकल साइड में देख रहे हैं. You're right, mate.
Yeah,
What's the man
Ashish,
name
yeah.
saying, bro? What's the
Man
man
damn.
name saying? Man like Ben Stokes, mate. You can't handle him, bro. You can't handle him. You
Yeah,
got
South Africa
2
lost
World
2-1
Cups
to
in the
India. In July, they drew 1-1 with England.
Guys,
Yeah, that's
for you,
what I.
who is the best all-rounder in the world in the modern era now in the last 5 years?
भाई ये सवाल ना पूछने से पहले मेरे को जरा एक रिसर्च करने का टाइम दो बिकॉज
मैं आपको ऑप्शन भी
Ben
दे देता हूँ अगर आपको होना तो.
दियो
वेंकटेश अय्यर, शिवम दुबे, हार्दिक पांड्या, बेन स्टोक्स, फहीम अशरफ, मार्कस टोइनेस, ग्लेन. मैं मीडियम पेस दे रहा हूँ, ओके?
Okay.
मार्कस टोइनेस, क्रिस मॉरिस, अपना अभी मार्को यानसन आ रहा, और कौन है भाई? डेविड वीसे.
Again, yeah, criteria is it based on what they won trophy wise
Why
or how
आपका?
they perform?
It's up to you. You back. Listen, you make the decision. Then you give your argument based on your criteria. I gave my criteria. It's up to you. That's how you make an argument, bro.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'll be very honest. अभी इतना stats में कोई याद नहीं है, तो इसलिए giving any judgment would be unfair. Based on trophies, if I'm looking at, yeah,
From
Ben
I
Stokes is consistent.
not the trophies. From eye test. From what
From
you
eye test,
watch.
अगर मैं देख रहा, I would say Ben Stokes, man, match winner. That's it. Like
You
match
saw the
winner,
game,
and
the test
yeah,
match
I
game.
saw the game
You
and I saw the crunch. Yeah, he's Kobe Bryant in the last. Yeah, he's something else. He's Kawhi on the buzzer. Yeah, he's next level.
Yes, these are now my words. I heard it on the channel few days back. Oh, so you saw that episode.
Yeah, he
Ashish
steals
saw that
everything. Ashish steals everything. He just doesn't let everybody know what he steals. Smart man. But yeah, so I mean, hopefully, we're wishing for a good pitch. Hopefully, the pitch curators keeping their job after tomorrow's game. And yeah,
I'm
how
not
are you
into pitching. I
assessing?
don't care about the pitches. Just go and play cricket, bro.
What do
Play
you
golf.
think? Yeah, in terms of Mitchell Sandner, what do you expect
If there
from
is
his
grass on
boys?
the pitch,
Play Paul. But like from terms of Mitchell Sanders' captaincy, that has been phenomenal, man. I'm really, taken by surprise. I know he has, captained them in the past as well, but Mitchell Sanders bringing, a lot of क्या बोलते हैं न्यू थिंग्स चैपमैन आ गया इन्हें आ गया काफी अच्छी दिखा मेरे को उसका कैप्टनसी एंड द वे ही हैंडल्स द सिचुएशन ही इज वेरी कूल मैन ही डजंट लूज हिज टेम्परामेंट एनीवेयर एंड आई रियली लाइक दैट अबाउट हिम
you know what it is about his captaincy? It's not the fact that they won the first T20. It's not the fact that they restricted 100. It's not that. It's the moves that he's made.
Mostly
You see
making,
how
yeah.
he moved that third man final. How he brought in Chapman to bowl. Yes, I know it could be obvious that it's a spinning track, but still, he backed the
observer of
one-timer
the
and-
game, yeah, observer of the game, I guess, yeah.
It was a crunch situation in the 17th, 18th over. It wasn't a time to bowl a part-timer. I'll be very honest with you. I would have maybe not done that myself, but the way he, and even think about it, nobody really thought about it. So it's just the moves that he's making. It shows that he has a shrewd mind on him. He understands the game very well. He reads the game. Of course, he's an experienced player now, and the fact that he bats and bowls, maybe that gives him a better
An edge.
vision of the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Santna has been really, really good. But I think that's our time for today. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Everybody who has watched us, thank you so much for joining. Chirag Bhai, Ibrahim Bhai, Ashish Bhai, Dr. Foodie. and Badruddin Siddiqui bhai bhi aaj join kare, Ujjal bhi join kare. So everybody who has joined us, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel for the latest cricketing content. We will be back tomorrow. We'll review the both matches. We have both games tomorrow, so we will give you our view and our insight after both matches. First, thank you so much for joining. It was a pleasure to get your thoughts on the games, and looking forward to tomorrow. Today was a bit of preparation, and tomorrow is game time, so I'm looking forward to it. And remember this: once that's done, it's all eyes will be on the Border Gavaskar Trophy. So can't wait for that. Yeah. So let's finish this series and then move on to Test cricket. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. All right. Good night.